Hello viewers, welcome to the digital class of Udainath Autonomous College of Science and Technology. In today's class, we will be describing how to extract the digits from the number and all the digit extraction and evaluation programs in C programming language. So today class will be all about the logic and how to write a program to extract the digits and to evaluate all the digits in different programs. So today's class will be all about the digit extraction. So moving on to the digit extraction, first of all we need to know the logic behind the digit extraction. So what is the logic behind digit extraction? Let us say that we have taken a number, let's say we have taken 345 and we have stored in the variable, let's say n. That means suppose I have written int n equal to 345. That means n will reserve a memory in RAM in which 345 will be stored. Now our program should be of extracting the digits from this number, that means 3, 4 and 5. So how to extract it? So first of all let's describe what is the logic behind it. So whenever we will divide a number, any number, it may be 3-digit number, it may be 4-digit number or any number, whenever we are dividing a number with 10, then we get the remainder as the last digit of that number. That means whenever we are taking any number and we are dividing it by 10, then the remainder will always be the last digit of that number. So in this place we have got 5 as the last digit, that means we have got 5. Now the logic is we will take the quotient, that means instead of taking 345 again we will take 34, then again we will divide 34 by 10. Let's say 10 3 ja 30, then remainder will come 4. That means we have got another digit, that is 4. Then again we have to take the quotient, that means 3 is over here. So now we will divide it by 10. Let's say 10 0 0, then remainder will come as 3. Then we have got another digit. That means whenever we will divide any number by 10, we will get the remainder, and the number or the remainder will always be the last digit of that number. So again we have to take the quotient of that number and we have to divide it again by 10, and this process will continue up to the quotient returns 0. So when the quotient will return 0, the program we will come out from the loop. So let's say we have to write it programmatically. So let's say we have taken n equal to 345. Now we need to get the remainder. So we know that we have two operators. This is your division operator, this is your modulo division operator. So division operator always returns quotient and modulo division operator always returns remainder. That means whenever we will be dividing a number by using the division operator, we will be getting the quotient, and whenever we will be dividing a number using the modulo division operator, we will be getting the remainder. So this operator is used to return the remainder and this operator is used to return the quotient. So if I will write, suppose n modulo 10, that means n will be divided by 10 and the remainder will be returned. Let's say another example, suppose I will tell x equal to 34, y equal to 5, and when I will write, suppose let's say I will write z equal to x divided by y, and I will write suppose a equal to x modulo y, then the answer will be different. Why? Because it will divide 34 by 5, 5 6 the 30. So in this case, as we have used the division operator, so the quotient will be returned, that means 6 will be stored in z, that means z will have the value as 6. Similarly, when we are dividing x by y and we are using modulo division operator, so 34 will be divided by 5 and the remainder will be returned, that is 4, and 4 will be stored in a. So in this way, if we want to get the remainder of anything, then we use the modulo division operator. So as we know, as per the logic of the program, first we need to, let's say we want last digit. So last digit equal to n modulo 10. That means n is having 345. So 345 is divided by 10. So we are getting the remainder as 5. That means in last digit 5 will be stored. Similarly, I will write, let's say n equal to n by 10. So what do you mean by that? So now I have changed the operator. That means instead of using modulo division operator, I have used the division operator. So n by 10. So n is having 345. So 345 is divided by 10, and as we have used the division operator over here, so it will return the quotient. So quotient is 34. So 34 will be stored in n. That means n value will be changed from 345 to 34. So now again I will write, let's say middle digit equal to n modulo 10. That means what? Again n will be divided by 10, but we have used the modulo division operator. So n is having the value as 34 now. So 34 will be divided by 10 and it will return the remainder, that is 4. So 4 will be stored in MD. So let's say middle digit equal to 4. Now again I have to take the quotient. So to get the quotient we need the division operator. So again I will write n equal to n by 10. That means n is having 34 now. So 34 will be divided by 10 and we will get the quotient, that is 3. So 3 will be stored in n. So n will have the value as 3. Now again I will write, let's say first digit equal to n modulo 10. So n is having 3. So I will divide 3 by 10. So 3 is divided by 10 and we get the value remainder, that is your 3. So FD will have the value as 3. So you can clearly see we have got the 3 digits. So we have written this logic for 3 digit number. If it will be 4 digit, if it will be 2 digit, or it may be of 5 digit. So it can be of any length. We can get all the digits through this logic. And now we will be writing this logic in our program through the help of looping. Now we will take an example to extract the digits from a number through the help of a loop. So as per the syntax of a program, let's say hash include stdio.h, which is a general syntax of writing a program, then void main. Let's say I have taken a number n and we will be taking the remainder in, let's say, r. So now I have to enter a number in n. So I can write printf, let's say enter a number. So here we have not specified that a number should be of a specified length. That means a number can be of 3 digit, 4 digit, 5 digit, or any digit number. Now I will write scanf %d ampersand n. Now I have to take a loop. Let's say while n not equal to 0. That means up to the n value, when it will not become 0, till that time the loop will continue. So r equal to n modulo 10, then printf \n %d r, then n equal to n by 10. So this is the program of extracting the numbers. Now we will define it by taking an example. Let's say we have taken two variables, let's say n and r. So here the question arises, enter a number. Now we will enter a number in n. Let's say I have entered 1049. So here it will come, now it will check n is not equal to 0. 1049 is not equal to 0. Yes, true, 1049 is not equal to 0. Now it will enter the block r equal to n modulo 10. So n modulo 10 means 1049 will be divided by 10. So we will be getting the remainder as 9 because we have used the modulo division operator. So n modulo 10 means we have already told that any number divided by 10, it returns the last digit. That means 9 is the last digit and it will be stored in r. So r will have 9. Next, printf \n %d r. So now we will print the value of r, that is 9. So it will print the value as 9. That means from 1049 we have got one digit. N equal to n by 10. So n is having 1049. So 1049 will be divided by 10, and as we have used the division operator over here, so it will return the quotient, that is 104. So 104 will be stored in n. So when it will come over here, it will be redirected to this one. Again, n is not equal to 0, 104 is not equal to 0, yes, true. Again it will enter over here, r equal to n modulo 10. So r equal to n modulo 10 means 104 will be divided by 10. So we are getting the remainder as 4 because we have used the modulo division operator over here. So r will have the value as 4. Now the value of r becomes 4. Now it will print the value of r. So r value is 4. So it will print the value 4 in next line because we have used the escape sequence over here. Next, n equal to n by 10. So n is having 104. So 104 will be divided by 10. But as we have used division operator, so it will return the quotient, that is 10. So 10 will be stored in n. So 10 is not equal to 0. Yes, true, 10 is not equal to 0. Now it will enter over here, r equal to n modulo 10. So n is having the value as 10. So 10 will be divided by 10 again. So it will be 10 1 ja 10. So remainder is 0. So r will have value as 0 because it returns the remainder, because we are having the modulo division operator over here. Next it will print the value of r. So the value of r is 0. So it will print the value as 0. Now n equal to n by 10. So n is having now 10. So 10 is divided by 10 now. So 10 is divided by 10, and we have used the division operator over here. So the quotient will be written. That means the quotient is 1. So 1 will be stored in n. Now again the curly bracket will return the pointer to this one. Now the condition is n is not equal to 0. That means 1. 1 is not equal to 0. Yes, true, 1 is not equal to 0. Now it will enter over here. N will be divided by 10. So n is having the value as 1. So 1 will be divided by 10. So let's say 10 0 is 0 and it will enter as 1. So 1 will be stored in r. Now it will print the value of r. So r value is 1. So it will print the value of r, that is 1. So n equal to n by 10. So n is having the value as 1. 1 will be divided by 10. But as we have used the division operator over here, so it will return the quotient, that is 0. So 0 will be stored in n. So when it will come to this condition again, now it will check 0 is not equal to 0, false, 0 is equal to 0. So this condition will return false and it will come out from the while loop and further from the main loop. And in this way we have got all the digits in different lines. That means here was the number and here are the digits. So in this way, or following the procedure in using this logic, we can get the digits of any number. That means it can be of any length and we can extract the digits from any length of number in this procedure. So this is all about of entering a number and displaying its digits. So we will take another example in which we will be describing some more examples. Now we will take another example. Let's say we have to enter a number and check whether each digit of the number is even, odd or 0. That means we have already discussed how to extract the numbers or how to extract the digits from a number. Now we will be exploring much about how to extract the numbers or extract the digits from a number, and we will be checking whether the digit is even, odd or 0. So as per the syntax of a program, we will write hash include stdio.h, which is a general syntax of writing a program, then void main, then we will take a number, let's say n, and we will be storing the digit in r. So we will be entering a number, so we need to give a message, let's say enter a number, and we will enter the number using the scanf function %n. So now we have entered the number. Now we have to extract the numbers. So as per the loop while n not equal to 0. Now I will write r equal to n modulo 10. That means we will be extracting the last digits from the number and we will be storing in r. Now when the digit will come and it will be stored in r, next function is to check whether the digit is even, odd or 0. So as per our last program, we already know that the last digit or digit of the number are getting stored in R. So it's the function of R to check whether it is even, odd or 0. So if I will write if R modulo 2 equal to 0, then I will write printf \n %d is, let's say, is even, and in place of %d I will write R. Again I will write if R modulo 2 not equal to 0, that means if it is odd, then it will printf \n %d is odd, that means in place of %d I will print the value of R. Similarly, if R equal to 0, then printf \n %d is 0, and in place of %d I will print the value of R. Next I will write n equal to n by 10. Now this is the close curly bracket of while loop and this is the close curly bracket of the program. Now let's take an example over here. Let's say I have taken two variables n and r. So I will take, let's say, n and r. So let's take a value, let's say I will take 21 in n. Now it will check 21 is not equal to 0. Yes, true. So now it will divide the value of n by 10. That means 21 will be divided by 10. So 10 to the 20. Remainder is 1. So 1 will be stored in R. So R will carry the value as 1. Now we will check whether the value of R is even, odd or 0. So 1 is divisible by 2. Is it equal to 0? No. Obviously R is not divisible by 2. That means this condition will return true and it will print %d. That means in place of %d R will be printed. That means 1 will be printed. So it will print 1 is odd. Then it will come to this condition, R is equal to 0. No, 1 is not equal to 0. So again it will come over here. Now n equal to n by 10. So n is having the value as 21. So 21 will be divided by 10, and as we have used the division operator over here, so the quotient will be returned. That means quotient is 2. So 2 will be stored in n. That means n will have the value as 2. So this curly bracket will return the pointer or the pointer to this condition. That means n is not equal to 0. 2 is not equal to 0. Yes, true. 2 is not equal to 0. Now n modulo 10. So n modulo 10 means 2 will be divided by 10. So 2 will be divided by 10. So 10 0 is 0. That means remainder is 2. So 2 will be stored in R. So R will contain the value as 2 now. So now it will check 2 is divisible by 2. Yes, true. So it will print %d is even. So in place of %d R will be printed. That means 2 will be printed. So 2 is even. Yes. So it will print 2 is even. Now it will come to this condition. 2 is not divisible by 2. False. 2 is equal to 0. False. So it will not enter over here. Now it will come to this location. That means n divided by 10. So n is having 2. So 2 will be divided by 10. But as we have used the division operator over here, so it will return the value as quotient. So quotient is 0. So 0 will be stored in n. Now the value of n is 0. So this curly bracket will direct the pointer to this one. So n value is 0. So 0 is not equal to 0. False. 0 is equal to 0. So it will come out from the while loop and it will then again it will come out from the main function. Now we have got the digits and we have checked whether each digit is even or odd. So we have entered, as per the program, we have entered 21. So digits are 2 and 1. So 2 is even and 1 is odd. So it has been printed in the program. So this is all about of entering a number and checking whether each digit is even, odd or 0. Now we will be taking another example in which we will be checking whether a number is palindrome number or not. Now we will take another example. Let's say we have to enter a number and check whether it is palindrome number or not. So what do you mean by a palindrome number? So palindrome number means if the reverse of a number is equal to the number, then we call it as a palindrome number. Let's say I have taken a number 1001. So when I will reverse the number, that means the number will be reversed. So I will get the number that is 1001. So if both the numbers are equal, then we call it as a palindrome number. Let's say we will take 8855. But when we will reverse it, we will get 5588, so which is not equal to 8855. So 5588 is different and 8855 is different, so it is not a palindrome number. So in this program we will enter a number and check whether the number is palindrome or not. So moving on to the program, we will start with hash include stdio.h void main So we will be entering a number, let's say printf enter a number, then to enter a number from the user we use the scanf function, that is %d %n. Now I have to check or I have to store a number. So let's say I have taken another variable, let's say I have taken a. So I will store the original value in a variable, let's say a, because we will be changing the number. That means if I will calculate on n, the value of n may be changed. So I have taken or I have initialized the value of n in another variable, let's say a. Now I will check the number while a not equal to 0. So r equal to a modulo 10. Now s equal to s into 10 plus r. Next a equal to a by 10. Now it will check whether the value of n is equal to s, then it will print palindrome number else it will print not palindrome number. Now the program will be ended. So now we will take an example to explain how this program works. So we have taken 4 variables over here. Let's say I have taken n, then r, then I have taken a variable as s where I have stored 0, and I have taken another variable, let's say a. So we have entered a number, let's say I have entered 131 in n. So as we know that as per the program requirement, palindrome number means if we reverse a number and we are getting the exact number, that means if I will reverse the number as of 131, we will get 131, then it is a palindrome number. Now in this program we will check whether this program or this number is returning palindrome number or not. Now I have stored n in a, that means a will have 131. So we have stored another variable because there may be a chance that the original number may be changed. So I have initialized the value of n in a. So it will check over here, a is not equal to 0. So a is having 131. 131 is not equal to 0. True, 131 is not equal to 0. Now a will be divided by 10. That means 131 will be divided by 10. So as per the logic we know that it will return the remainder, that is 1. So 1 will be stored in r. So r will have the value as 1. Now it will come to here. So what is the work of this line? So as we know the place value of each number, so the first place value is will be multiplied 10 times. That means first value is 0, then it will come to 10, then it will come to 100, then it will come to 1000. So this line functions for the place value. So s is having the initial value as 0. So 0 into 10, that means 0. 0 plus r, 0 plus 1, that is 1. It will be initialized in s. So s will have the value as 1. It will come to here a by 10. So a is having 131. 131 divided by 10, and division operator will return the value quotient, that is 13. 13 will be stored in a. So a will have the value as 13. So when it will come to here, it will be redirected to the condition again. A is not equal to 0. 13 is not equal to 0. True. 13 will be divided by 10. So 13 will be divided by 10. So 10 ones are 10, and the remainder will be 3. So 3 will be stored in r. Okay. Then again it will come over here, s into 10. So s is having the value as 1. 1 into 10 is 10. 10 plus r, 10 plus 3, that is 13. 13 will be stored in S. So S value will be changed from 1 to 13. Next, again a equal to a by 10. So a value is 13. 13 will be divided by 10 and division operator will return the value, that is quotient, that is 1, and it will be stored in a. That means a will have the value as 1. Then again, when it will encounter this curly bracket, it will be redirected to a not equal to 0. That means a is having 1, 1 is not equal to 0. True, 1 is not equal to 0. Then again it will enter over here. Then a modulo 10, that means a is having 1. So 1 will be divided by 10, that means 1 will be remainder and it will be stored in r. So r will have the value as 1. Then again it will come over here. Now s into 10, 13 into 10, 130. 130 plus r, 130 plus 1, that is 131. It will be stored in S. Then again a equal to a by 10. So a value is 1. So 1 divided by 10. So as we are using the division operator, so it will return the quotient as 0. So a will have the value as 0. So when it will be redirected to this condition, so 0 is not equal to 0, false, 0 is equal to 0. Now it will come out from the while loop. Now again it will check whether the value of n is equal to value of s or not, because we have reversed the number and we have stored it in s variable. So 131 is equal to s. Yes, true, 131 is equal to 131. So it will print the value, that is palindrome number. Now if those number will be different, though it will print not a palindrome number. So in this program we have entered a number and we have checked whether it is a palindrome number or not. So in this way, or following this logic, we can check or we can extract the digits from a number and we can evaluate further as per the requirement of the program. So I hope you all have understood what is digit extraction, how to extract the digits from the number and how to evaluate further for each digit of a number. Till then, thank you.